What's up, guys and gals? Red Icing Guy back again to do something a little different in my analysis of Persona 5. Please forgive me if I sound weird. I've been sick all weekend and barely got any sleep. Also, be sure to stick around to hear the instructions on how your questions can be humbly answered in upcoming videos. Now, introduction over, let's get into today's subject, the Bufu or Garu argument. Thanks to commenter Red Ruppy and Zero's Dreamer for bringing this to my attention. What is the Bufu Garu argument, you might ask? I only found out about it a few weeks ago. Well, we already know that the MC is a wild card, Morgana is a Zio user, and Anne is an Agi user. However, the question of magic for Ryuji and Yusuke is still up to debate. So by breaking down trailer evidence, I will present both sides to the viewer and see if a collective agreement can be made, or at least a majority agreement. Before I get into the debate, I must stress the importance of this argument and how Yusuke and Ryuji fit into all of this. It all started when I noticed that there would be 4 party members in the first dungeon. In pondering all of this, I figured out some crucial theories. We all know that Persona 5 will have aspects of Persona 1 and 2. Will the water type and earth type magics return? Highly unlikely, but still a possibility. So if we remain with the 4 major elements of Persona 3 and 4, which doesn't include Hama and Muto, we can have all major elements by the end of the first dungeon with respective party members. This is a great design choice, because it forces the player early on to tame a persona with the missing element. For example, if Ryuji is a Garu user, then the MC will need to acquire a persona with Bufu so all major elements are in play. As both Carmen and Arsene are Agi users, it encourages the collection of more persona, which is cool. Thumbs up to Atlas. But then it hit me that this is a feature in both Persona 3 and 4. This should be obvious. With that said, let's get further into this argument, and I gotta admit, yeah, this doesn't really matter, but it's just something that has been confusing me. Yusuke and his persona Goemon have been rumored to use either Bufu or Garu. The evidence where Bufu is in favor, in this scene where Goemon attacks, we see blue crystals falling away from the enemy as they curl up. To some, that seems like a freezing attack, and it makes even more sense when we look at Ryuji. Ryuji's persona is Captain Kidd, a pirate. What do galleons need to sail? Rhetorical question, I know, but wind is important to seafarers of that time period. So it makes sense in a lot of ways. This evidence is highly evoking, and it does seem overly legit. Hell, it even has me doubting myself. But I must state the other side of the argument as well, because there's a lot of contradictions. So, with that said, let's focus on the opposite. This scene where Goemon attacks does give off a Bufu feel, but there are some major contradictions here. First, I must state that this is a cutscene, not a battle sequence. The guards glowing and sparkling after receiving damage, then curling up, could just be how enemies look like while being defeated in a cutscene. From the battle sequences we have seen, the guards of the dungeon transform into a persona first, and then you defeat them. It is out of order for this, and the evidence of Bufu could still be there, but no confirmation can be made. Second of all, I need to mention some aspects of gameplay logic. First, the enemies are blown away. A clue left to say more of a wind attack. In true gameplay logic, wouldn't an ice attack freeze them to the ground? I don't know, maybe they're using a more Blizzard feel in this case, but there is some other gameplay logic out there as well. Take a look at the main party personas so far. Does anything stick out to you? Other than Zoro having a compass on his belt, determining Morgana as the first navigator. Sorry, got off topic. What I meant to say was color. Both Arsene and Carmen are red and their element is fire. Morgana is silver on black, detailing a scene of a lightning strike at night, at least in my mind. Now let's look at Ryuji's first summon scene where he does the typical anime stare at his hands and realizes he has a new power. Captain Kidd's body and ship seem to have a bluish coloring, detailing Bufu. When Yusuke attacks in this cutscene, the background of the scene is actually, well, green. Do not take my word for it, as there may be secondary reasons for this color scheme in the trailers, and I may not know what it truly is. The last bit of gameplay logic is the way Yusuke goes about the attack. Add in a fan and the relevance to Kabuki would be complete. There is so much in Kabuki that details wind, but not a lot to detail ice. I know I'm picking at straws, but I have to state that some info just doesn't make sense. The last of the counter argument is that Captain Kidd can exemplify both Bufu or Garu. He is a skeleton, and the dead are likened to cold in a lot of analogies. However, there is no historical information for Goemon to have ice powers. I don't think Atlas would overlook a subject like this. I mean, Goemon died by being boiled alive, for Pete's sake. I'll be honest, the only way that Goemon can have Bufu is as a reference to his heart, as whoever he got close to was either killed or betrayed him. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it again. Well, that's the whole argument. Which side do you believe? Did I miss something? Do you have any relevant questions on this subject? Comment with the word red at the start and I'll get back to you. And now it's time for the exciting new start of a new series. As new info is a week and a half away, I want to know what your questions are, and I'll try to answer them in next week's video. If you have a good question and want it appearing on screen, leave a comment with the phrase, "This has been bugging me," and I'll look into it. Do not feel bad if I don't get to it fast enough, since I will only do about 3 or 4 every week. Also, don't feel bad if I don't comment on it. I put in that red thing so you could both ask for an answer in the comments, and you could also ask it with that phrase I mentioned so I can answer it in the video. If you want both, you're going to have to put 2 comments. Because if you just do the phrase, I have the feeling that you just want it in the upcoming video and not answered in the comments so everybody knows about it. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked this, and I hope it got your brain going, because with all this hype for that countdown, I cannot wait to see what's coming up. Again, I cannot think of a closer, so goodbye.